What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 12 of the Sports Roast. I got the name of the show right this time. Mike sounds good. No crazy neighbors. I don't sound like I'm underwater, I don't think. I could be back in business here after multiple trips to the computer store to save my dying baby. So a lot has happened in the wide world of sports. Let's get to it. See, I don't even know where I left you guys off. It's been a while, but I'm back. Hopefully as average as ever. But let's get to the biggest story of the past, let's say, 2 weeks. And you guys all know what it is. I mean, been handing out championships. Free agency has been drafts. But LSU winning their 8th national championship in men's baseball, college baseball. I think, over Coastal Carolina, who had won, 26 in a row. Number 13 in the country. Against number 6 in the country, my LSU Tigers. They take home their 8th title, making them the premier baseball program because USC is 112. Is the only college program that's won more than my little kitten cats? Than my little Tigers. But USC has only won like one since the 80s, and LSU has won all of theirs since the 90s. So LSU is the premier baseball program in the country. Proud to say it. We have Skeens, Cruz. We're going to have Cade going in there. And we have the Bear. If you watched anything from Omaha, you know who the hell I'm talking about. Our first baseman, our ace. They will be in the pros very soon. So proud to say that is the biggest story in the world. We know it. And then also rolling right along, Panthers broke the cup. The Panthers broke the cup. So no surprise, the Panthers win their second World Cup. World Cup? Yeah, the World Cup of hockey. But no, that's a different thing. Their second Stanley Cup in a row. They've gone to 3 straight finals. And I have a very blurry image for the YouTube audience. They cracked the top of the cup, as only the Panthers could do. And this is another picture for the YouTube audience. So they've dented the shit out of this thing. That is supposed to be a round bottom to the Stanley Cup. And I'm pretty sure this is not last year. I know for a fact the broken one, the rip in it and the top of the cup is this year. But they've dented it. It may be 2 years in a row, but they definitely dented it this year. I apologize if this is the wrong picture, but you get the damn point. These guys are animals. These guys like Kachuk and Bennett and Reinhardt and Marchand. So Marchand was drinking a coffee, like a vodka iced tea. He had a cigar in his mouth. He had they called it an elbow beer, an armpit beer. These guys partied nonstop, and deservedly so, and rightfully so. And newsflash for the rest of the hockey world, they brought back their big 3 in Ekblad, Marchand, and Bennett. Bennett for 8 for 8, like he said, at Club 11, like a night after. So Bennett's going to be back. Marchand's signed a long-term deal, but there's a new CBA coming, so they're trying to do whatever I don't know. Listen, I'm not. Was it Zito? Whoever's down there? Was it Zito? I don't know. Whoever the GM is, he knows what he's doing. He is pretty damn good down there, and they are set for a while. They're set for another run for 2 or 3 years at least. But obviously someone else should come and challenge them, unless McDavid and the Oilers can add some firepower. See what the Kings do. See what the Hurricanes do. The Hurricanes got Keandre Miller from the Rangers. The Rangers slowly kind of breaking it down a little bit, I guess. Still continuing to from the regular season, and that's part of the consequences of losing to this Florida team. Florida ended Boston. They were the roadblock. They've been the roadblock in front of McDavid for 2 years in a row. They lost to Vegas, who signed Mitch Marner. I wasn't going to get there, but Vegas gets Marner. It's a huge deal. Very good player. Toronto starting to lose pieces. They did re-up Tavares. But listen, to this Panther team ended this Toronto team, which had all the hype and all the preseason predictors picking them for the past 4 years. They ended the Bruins, ended the Rangers. They are way better than the Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes are trying to do whatever they can to jump them. It's not going to happen, in my opinion, if both teams are healthy. And they ended. You could say they ended the Lightning. So this team's legit, and there's a lot of winning still left to do. Keeping everyone under contract. Really, they lost a few guys after last year, and they lost one dude recently. But him and Ekblad were PED guys, so it's not a total loss. Whoever they lost, forget the name escapes me. But yeah, so Panthers win it all. Panthers keep them all, pretty much the big three. And there's been some movement here and there. Gibson, the goalie, was traded to the Red Wings, so they finally have a netminder, as the kids say, or the analysts say, whatever. So that's NHL, right? And we'll get back to the draft stuff in a little bit, but this is what I've missed, trying to go in time order, other than the World Series. But that's just the boom. It's a big deal. So yeah, can the Panthers pull off the three-peat? We'll see. They are poised, right? People like to say that, poised to make another cup run. And then in the NBA, we thought we were going to get, in the NHL, McDavid for 7 games against, this Panther juggernaut, right? Nope. We didn't get that. We got the 7-game series, OKC against Indiana. Congrats to Indiana. They played a hell of a series. We all know what happened in Game 7. We'll get to that in a second. But OKC, they win it. And they had to be taught how to open champagne from Caruso, because he's the only one who won a title before with the Lakers. So these guys are so young, so, I don't want to say naive, so just they're just ballers. You gotta root for them. They don't even know how to open a champagne bottle. Jalen Williams said he's never drank before, and then he got drunk when they won. So you just root for these guys. SGA showed up on Good Morning America. It looked like he hadn't slept in a month. So good for them. They earned it. Best team all year, and then they proved it at the end. Speaking of SGA, we'll get into some free agency and some deals. $285 million for the MVP. He's earned it. Good dude on the court, off the court. This OKC team, they're not trash talkers. They don't get into the usual antics and the fights and all that that you like to see. It's entertaining in the playoffs, but they don't do that. They're about their business, and it paid off. So, NBA Finals, Game 7 was marred by another torn Achilles, Tyrese Halliburton, and everyone's trying to think of, is it the sneakers? Is it weight training? Is it just too much tension, too much torque on that tendon, and bigger, faster, stronger equals more injuries. But it could be this. It could be the curse of the zero. Dame Lillard famously wears 0. Jason Tatum famously wears 0. Tyrese Halliburton famously wears 0. All three will now miss. Probably, I would assume they would miss the whole season next year, playoffs included. I don't know why you would bring one of these three guys back, especially Lillard, who's older. I don't know why they would play a second in the playoffs next year. So, I wish the best for these three. I want to see them come back bigger and better. And KD did this, and that's a special body. That's a very distinct body on KD. Lanky, tall, but he's come back and he's played great. So hopefully these guys do the same. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they work their asses off to get back. But the Achilles is the new favorite injury of the sports gods. And Griffin Canning, surprise season. Very, very good start to the season for the Mets. He's the starter. His went too. He just took one wrong step trying to field his position on the mound, on the dirt of the mound. So You never know, and I'm sure millions of dollars will go into research to see how these teams and trainers and medical professionals can prevent this, or we'll see. But I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it can. We'll see. I don't know. But it's definitely not the shoes. I don't think that makes any sense at all. But yeah. So that's the zero conspiracy or coincidence, however you want to look at it. And then we have NBA wheels and deals and Desmond Bain. This is your city, whatever Bain says. Bain, not the Batman villain, but maybe a villain if you're not a fan, if you weren't a fan of the Grizzlies, or if you don't like the Magic, because Desmond Bain goes to the Magic, giving him much needed offense and a 3-point threat. If you know Desmond Bain, he's the jacked guy on the Grizzlies. Oh, now he's on the Magic. He was the jacked guy on the Grizzlies who hit threes at a high clip. So the Magic get their villain, and we'll see. This is the year. This is the year to load up if you're one of those fringe teams, or one of those teams that was hanging around all year in the East but just got bested by the Knicks or the Celtics or the Cavs or the Pacers. Because, listen, I'm a fan of the Cavs. I think they can make the finals if they stay healthy. They're well coached. They have a great roster. They do a lot. But the Celtics, they're starting to break it down. Obviously, Drew Holiday traded for Anthony Simons to Portland. KP Porzingis is now a Hawk. The Hawks are trying to load up. The Magic are loading up. We'll see if Detroit, with the Malik Beasley on Detroit, is being investigated for, I guess, fixing his stats. A little gambling ring. That's not good. I believe a bunch of his rebound numbers came under. Maybe he wasn't trying to get rebound. I don't know. It doesn't affect me. I'm a Bulls fan. Nothing affects me because they don't do much. Even though they traded Lonzo. They did trade Lonzo Ball. Good luck to him. But we shall see. And then the Bucks are one of those teams, too, that didn't go far. They lost to the Pacers. They add Miles Turner, so they take away from the Pacers, but then they also, in a corresponding move, cut Dame. Injured Dame. I heard the Warriors reached out. That would be awesome if he comes back and he's just added offense, kind of replacing what Clay left them. When Clay left, Dame won't have the defense, obviously, that especially prime Clay had, but Clay could play. So it's no news there. So we'll see what Dame does and where he ends up. And like I said, it's time to load up. I mean, the Knicks went through a draft, which we'll get to. The Knicks went through a draft and the beginning of free agency without a coach. So I don't know how you can add and draft without knowing your offensive philosophy, unless it's just all Brunson, Rick Brunson, unless it's just his show, but they just don't want to give him the head coaching nod. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not a Knicks fan, never will be, never have been, never will be, blah, 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 blah. They hire Mike Brown. That's news. Made the NBA Finals once, 2007 Finals. His ass got swept by the Spurs. He was with, obviously, LeBron and the Cavs. His win percentage is almost 600, so that's good. And it's 20 points higher than Tibbs, but Tibbs has coached way more seasons, way more, at least 200 more games, I believe, Tibbs. So Tibbs never made the finals. He does have a ring with the Celtic team, KG and Allen and Paul Pierce. He was a defensive assistant on that squad, and obviously has respect from all over the league. But the Knicks were the only ones looking for a coach. Rumors they interviewed Dawn Staley. That would be pretty damn cool. Becky Hammond, cut her teeth in the coaching ranks with under Pop. She has a title in the W with that loaded Aces team that she took over. So, I mean, Dawn Staley can coach. She's about to be on the Mount Rushmore of women's coaches if she isn't already, up there with Summit and Gino. So we'll see how that ends up for Mike Brown and the Knicks, and we'll see if they're going to try to make a move. It looks like Miami and the Knicks aren't really going to make a move, like a trade. They'd have to make a trade because of all their salaries they're paying. I believe Jordan Clarkson is now a Knicks, so get to see him chuck up some vomit, but we'll see. All right, so sticking with the NBA, it was draft time. And I've been skipping on the picks here. So here's KD with the new Rocket lineup. They'll be good. They should be improved. I don't know if this gets them to the finals. I think OKC still better than them. I'd like to see what pieces Golden State and Denver add. I know Denver added Cam Johnson, I believe. So that's a good move. And then we'll see if Golden State can, glue together something around Jimmy and Dre and Curry. I'd like to see them make a run. And the Clippers brought back Harden, so the West will be as it was. The West will be loaded, and the East will be lesser of the two, but we'll see what happens. So there's some KD and his new threads. And then NBA draft. Mr. Cooper Flagg, the Great White Hope, right? The Great White American Hope. It's said that whoever landed him is going to get like $500 million to $1 billion profit, I guess, off sales and tickets and whiteness. I don't know. So, he's a good player. I've seen better, but he's very good now. I'm a UNC guy, so UNC fan. Flagg, everyone knew this was happening. He was scrimmaging against that Olympic team. So we'll see if him and his acne can get the Mavs to the promised land, or at least the playoffs first. Got to make the playoffs first, or else Nico's ass is gone. And then Ace Bailey was talk of the draft because teams were avoiding him because he didn't want to work out. He said he didn't want to play for some teams. I don't think he worked out for any team, actually. Ace Bailey went number 5, could have went 2, 3, 4 with a little, I don't want to say better attitude because it might have been his agent, not him, but if he handled things differently, he could have went 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever. But he goes 5th, and he goes to Cleveland, goes to Utah. Everyone's thinking, is he going to report? Is he going to make a mess? Is he going to try to get out of there? Is it going to be Eli Manning? But apparently all is well, and he's going to go, and maybe he didn't want to go to the state with like the vampire drinking rules, or the vampire, or a town that has a city that has vampires, or can't drink at night because we have weird rules. And I don't know if that's a Mormon thing, but shout out to the Mormons and your weird alcohol rules and your strict no heavy pours and can't drink on like Wednesdays before 8 a.m. whatever the hell you guys do. But hey, whatever. I've been to Utah. Lovely people, nice people. And I didn't hate all these South American women that I saw. But anyway, so Ace Bailey goes to the Jazz. See what he can do there. Good luck to him. Good luck to all the Rooks. And then, speaking of Rooks, my Islanders had the number 1 pick in the draft. Matthew Schaefer, young defenseman. Supposed to be in the class of like a Makar and those guys. I hope that's right. I hope projections are true. Always, you should always be careful comparing these guys to other guys. But anyway, great kid. So the little specials they played on him, and lost his mom to cancer. And what you see for the YouTube audience, the Isles put the purple ribbon, the cancer patch for cancer awareness, on the jersey that was presented to him by Gary Bettman. He kissed it. Waterworks for he started bawling. The eyes went, and the tears started flowing, but good for him. Getting the number 1 pick. Good on the Isles for showing some class and, putting that ribbon on that jersey. Now, speaking of class, let's get a higher class of player to go around this young gentleman who was probably, I won't say probably, definitely a future captain. And they did have the 16th and 17th picks. Hired a Swedish goal scorer, and then a hard-nosed, hard-ass defenseman, Kayshawn Aitchison, right? Who looks, if you watch his highlight reel on YouTube or Twitter or wherever you want to find it, he's a guy you're gonna want. He's gonna you're gonna want in series and matchups in the playoffs, and if he can stay out of the box and pick and choose his spots, he's gonna be an enforcer and a force to be reckoned with. He's gonna intimidate others. So I'm excited for their draft. Let's be honest. They wanted to trade up. There was a local Long Island boy who was projected top 10. The Isles had 1, and then the new GM said so. He was trying to move up to I think 4 or 5, right? Wherever the Mammoth were. And they're trying to get the young kid who got drafted by, you could say he got drafted by Happy Gilmore, because I know what's his name showed up. Adam Sandler showed up and did the Bruins pick, because Adam Sandler rocks the Bruins jersey. So that was kind of cool for the young boy, Higgins, right? Something Higgins. But he goes to Boston. So Boston continues to cuck the Rangers and Islanders. All that talk years ago of Charlie McAvoy, grew up Long Island, like a Long Beach kid, I believe. Oh, I think he was a Ranger fan. Oh, the Rangers. But no, the Boston cucks with pucks. So, and then speaking on the NHL draft, very 90s themed. Gary Bettman staying real safe with the 90s theme of let's bring out 2 actors from Mighty Ducks. All right, cool. Let's bring out Happy Gilmore. And I think it was, I don't know if he was playing Happy Gilmore, but everyone knew what that was. And let's bring out the Google Dolls to help draft the Buffalo Sabres pick at 9. Whatever. Good on the NHL. I mean, it's, you go to an NHL arena, it's a great time. It's the best live sport, in my opinion. Regular season best live sport. For sure, and then the playoffs get even better. So, you're gonna hear lit. If you go to a hockey game, you're gonna hear lit and all that good stuff. So maybe we'll hear the Google Dolls up in Buffalo. I don't know, but the Google Dolls. Sorry. Just keep that sport. Keep it white as the ice, I guess. I don't know. But speaking of that. What was cool was, I believe it was the Bruins. Oh, Penguins or Bruins again. Drafted a black player, and they said he wanted to started to play after he saw PK Subban in uniform for the Habs, for the Canadians. I thought that was awesome. Kevin Weeks was doing the draft for ESPN. I really wish PK was up there to meet that kid, but I'm sure they will. Because that's a cool story, and good luck to that kid, even though he's wearing the black and yellow. No love for those 2 teams, but good luck to that kid. I don't have his name, I apologize, but you can look it up. First round pick, and his influence was PK Subban, which is awesome. I like seeing that stuff. So, NBA draft done. NHL draft done. We'll see how these kids do. Weren't strong drafts according to the analysts. I didn't really know anyone after like the middle of the first round in the NBA. I knew the big Michigan kid whose brother, I should have put that on. His brother was crying like all the ice cream in the world was gone. But Wolf, right? Ryan Wolf, whatever the big one of the 7-footers that Michigan had, the big dude. So anyway, no one knows anyone anymore. They're all French kids, and good luck to them. So. Let's do a little NFL now. So, was it Jair Alexander, stud cornerback when healthy for the Packers. He got cut, and he goes right back and inks a deal to reunite with his college quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So, that's a big piece. If he could stay on that field, I think this could be Baltimore's year to finally get past Buffalo and Kansas City. See if my little bangies, my little stripes, my little striped kittens can make some noise and improve that defense behind Al Golden and some draft picks. But that front office, man, that owner. Woof. So we'll see about that. So Jair Alexander to Baltimore, and then Miami making moves. They send Pro Bowler, maybe a Pro Bowler for sure. Pro Bowler Jonnu Smith, who had a great year in that offense with Tua, Jonnu, and Jalen Ramsey go to Pittsburgh, and Minka goes back to Miami. So we'll see. It's two very good potential Hall of Famers in the secondary getting swapped for each other, but they're aging, and we'll see if Jalen Ramsey will make that move to safety, or if he's just going to get fed up with Aaron Rodgers and all his BS on McAfee and request a trade. I don't know. We'll see how that's going to work. Is Aaron Rodgers the guy that gets Tomlin fired? That's the big question going into this year. Does Aaron Rodgers cause a stink and play bad and actually cost? Does the unthinkable and makes Pittsburgh hire their fourth coach ever? That's the big question in my head for the Steelers heading into the season. Next trade, also the Dolphins. They got a retired tight end. A very good tight end for a couple years, for a few years there. No, not Gronk. No, not Tony Gonzalez. No. Not Gates. No, not Witten. Not even Witten. They got Darren Waller out of retirement. So Darren Waller, stud with the Raiders, didn't work out so well with the Giants. Apparently they're like moving him at fullback. I don't know. I think it was Dable maybe doing too much there. I don't know. But Waller has had off-field issues and then injury stuff. So what he needed to do was, take your time ahead. And he did. He took his time and healed. That was his clip. I don't know. I might get flagged for that, for playing it, but come on, man. Take your time ahead. Heal that broken heart, Kelsey Plum. I don't know if he had been cheating. I don't know. I don't want to start rumors or spread them. But Kelsey was pretty fired up. So the beautiful Kelsey Plum, now on the LA Sparks, I guess broke his heart. And then I think he did go through some mental stuff. That's nothing to joke around about. So I think he's good. And the physical part, he stepped away from the game and take your time. So he did what he had to do. Now he's back in the NFL in a very good offensive scheme for him. So we'll see how McDaniel, I always want to say McDaniel does for him. He's on the hot seat, so we'll see. And then Shedeur Sanders drives too fast. And then speaking of Kelsey Plum, WNBA, Nafisa Collier back healthy, doing things. There were some trades, and then Bonner. She was asked to be released from the Fever. That she didn't like how they were planning on using her. So there's been some wheeling and dealing. Alyssa Thomas, I believe, traded from Dallas to the Aces. It's a good addition for Vegas. And then my girl, the one and only, the baddest girl in the league, player of the week, Angel Reese, 19 points per game, 17 rebounds per game, 2 steals per game. Angel's killing it. There's plenty of room in the WNBA for multiple stars. All right, and all different types of playing types. So good on Angel. Keep doing your thing. Best rebounder that league has ever seen. So Angel Reese, that's some love for you. And then so we'll go from the good with the the titles, the bad as in badass with bad as in badass for Angel Reese. And then also bad for music. Take your time ahead. All right. Anyway, and then to the ugly. And I got 3 things about the ugly, and then I'll get out of here and head on to the July 4th and stay safe and let Mr. Pierre-Paul be a warning to you. Be safe. Shout out JPP. So the ugly. The New York Mets, very, very ugly. They just lost game 1 of a doubleheader. They are 3-4 since. Sorry, they are 3-14 since June 13th. That's the worst record in the majors. They have the second worst batting average with runners in scoring position, only better than the White Sox. This is not good. Mr. Lindor, pick it up. Mr. Soto, keep doing what you're doing. Mr. Alonso, let's get a little hot again. And then everyone behind Pete. That's everyone. Nemo, Vientos, whatever catcher they're playing that day, whatever right fielder they're called up. You got to start hitting, boys. And then that god-awful bullpen as of late. Woof. Brazoban, Garrett. What are you guys doing? Stearns is trying. I think Stearns has probably signed or traded for about 40 relievers the past 2 years, so it's just not sticking. Maybe it's time to, trade one of these kids for another bat, for a DH, for a lockdown setup man. I don't know. And they need an ace. They need an ace, especially if Senga is going to forget how to stretch and he can't field his position without pulling a hammy. So I don't know what's going on. Get it together. And then just as ugly, that team in the pinstripes every home game, the New York Skanks. They lost last night, I believe 12-5 to the Blue Jays. I believe that was the final. And they have lost for the 12th time in their past 18 games. And the Tampa Bay Rays, with their very good pitching and solid play, the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team currently that are playing in a Yankee stadium because they were playing in the Yankees minor league facility after that hurricane ripped the roof off the Trop. So I think it's still called the Trop. Maybe not. I don't know what it's called. But the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team that plays at a Yankee stadium. So right currently. So we'll see if they take over first place. So that's the ugly. And that roof of the Trop, I'm going to call it the Trop. I don't know if it's still a Trop, but it needed to, and a lot of money. So I'm loving that clip. I hope it's not a copyright strike. I hope it's short enough. I don't know the rules of YouTube yet. I know some of them, not all of them. But all right, and the last story before I go into the holiday weekend, and drink too much and put down some cheeseburgers and woof and do a number on my waistline. The FIFA Club World Cup. Why is this a thing still? Why? It's just, I have a friend, shout out to Tommy in Croatia. Miss you, bud. He told me that no one's watching. It's behind a paywall. It's on a streamer in Croatia. No one cares. And he's probably the biggest soccer fan I know. The longest soccer, fan for the longest time. I don't care. Arsenal and Milan are not in it. I'm glad they can just rest. I wish teams like Liverpool were in this and wasting time and energy, but we have PSG versus Bayern in the semis, so I did see the scoreboard. I'm not watching. I have no interest. Apparently all the Brazilian teams are taking it most serious, but I think that PSG versus Bayern winner, I assume they're going to win it all. I don't know. I think the Juve's still around too, and that team from, I believe, Egypt, who's the most decorated team ever, they're still around too. So that'd be cool if they won. Add a trophy to their immense case, but I don't care about this. And the group stage, you had Messi, and the FIFA president was trying to force Ronaldo on a team. That's a thing. That's a news story that's being whispered. 1 million empty seats for the group stage. For many reasons, some really bad, poor decisions by local authorities, but or local politicians, or major politicians. But it's been messy. It's been stupid. It's a failure, in my opinion. I don't know how else you can say that if you look at the crowds and the lack of ticket sales, and I don't know. Maybe the semifinals and final pull in numbers, viewership, and fans and sellouts. I don't know, but we don't need this. We need I don't know. We need rest. I don't know. Like Halliburton. Here's a thought. Halliburton and Tatum did not rest last summer, and their Achilles went. Is that a thing? Maybe the NBA guys need rest. Need to rest those legs. But these FIFA Club World Cup guys, they don't care. So we'll see who lifts that trophy. I will, will come and tell you the latest. But yeah, they've reached the quarterfinals, I believe. So 8 teams left in that failure of a tournament. And so I'm going to go. Wish you guys the best 4th of July you could have. Stay safe. Be smart. And if you have a hangover and you on the 5th you wake up and you're like, damn, like I need some energy, I have a hangover, but just take your time ahead. You'll be fine for the 5th and 6th. So everyone, happy 4th, stay safe, and let's go Mets. Right the ship, boys. Peace out.